What's up, guys, and welcome back to Beyond the Void Horror Podcast. My name is Alex, and today we're going to be doing a horror movie haul for the last month, and something I got today. Figured I'd squeeze it in. But let's check it out. So again, I want to let you guys know, MVD Entertainment, big supporter of the channel. Thank you again for supplying some of these. Some of these I bought on my own. Some of them I got from MVD Entertainment, from various different boutiques. So we've got stuff from like 88 Films, Vinegar Syndrome, like a ton of different places. Some new ones. Some of this stuff hasn't even come out. So buckle the fuck up. I'm going to work from when I got it to the end of the last one I got, and then we'll talk about each one subsequently. Now, I haven't seen all of these movies because I'm actually going to be doing a lot of reviews on this channel, so you're going to want to keep an eye out for these because they're going to be coming out as they come. I'm actually preparing for some of them right now. But let's kick it off. First up, we got Wonder Chosen, which is the complete series that was on MTV. Now, if you're not aware of what this is, I think there's a thing on YouTube that was kind of a meme for quite a while. It's like, I'm afraid to talk to people or something like that. It was like a kid show with puppets and stuff like that. Well, this is kind of like that. There is a lot of puppets in this. And I think David Cross was like one of the producers on this. I know he was pumping it for a little while when this came out back in like 2005 and 2006, the more edgier times. Because it seems like everything in the 2000s was like all about getting edgy. You know what I mean? Like we got a lot of their French like crazy films in that time. We got a lot of like extreme movies during that time. So, but this was like a TV show that was like really pushing the boundaries of taste. You could never get away with a TV show like this on today's world. They were definitely trying to be shocking, as the 2000s normally were. Now, one of my listeners, Plemke, who has donated many movies and many shows to the channel here, bought this for me on our Amazon wish list that we have. I'll put a link down below if you guys see anything in there that you want me to review or talk about. This is the first season over here. This is the second season. And that's pretty much it, but you can see some of the characters on the front here. They had a lot of different segments with this kid who went around and interviewed people and just like kind of trolled them like Tom Green. It was called Kids on the Street, Kids on the Beat, Beat Kids.
Who did you exploit today?
Who did I exploit?
That's the kind of humor you can expect from this. But yeah, there's a lot of like really edgy, try-hard humor in this, but it was during a time where I think a little bit more people weren't worried about the things that they were saying so much, and this is the complete series for that. So thank you, Plemke, for picking it up. It is definitely not for kids, but it's done in the way a kid would watch it. So just FYI.
White people, yay!
White people having fun. Global domination over air.
Up next, we got The Gate. Now, this one came out a long while ago, and it's been... I'm kind of have this thing about myself that I always end up picking up movies that are on the fringe, that aren't like very popular, because I'm more worried about those going out of print than something like The Gate, which is to me one of the horror classics of my childhood and has some of the best scares in it. If you've never seen this movie, this is a movie that I would say for a lot of people who have never been really into horror or have at least experienced something like being afraid of their closet or monsters under the bed or monsters in the wall or, you know, just holes in the ground, which is this one is all about. This is actually about a bunch of kids who they play a record backwards. First of all, it's a message for the suckers, but sorry, MSI, it's a band. Anyway. They play the record backwards and it summons a hole in the ground that brings evil upon this one house, and these kids have to fight against some pretty gnarly, crazy and like very disturbing shit in this movie. It's not a kid's movie, but I would say that if you're an adult and you are looking for something to kind of like edge your friends into, this might be a good one. It does have a little bit of gore in it, but not like a whole lot. It's just really kind of freaky and super scary. Some of the makeup effects in this are pretty wild. Basically bury their dog in the hole, and that basically is like a sacrifice, so it makes everything worse. And then demons start coming out into the house and they have to fight it with love. But it's amazing. I love this movie. This has always been a favorite of mine. They made a sequel to this, which a lot of people aren't very fond of. I went to the theater to see it. I loved it. But this is a great one. This is the Vestron series, so they're still out there. As a matter of fact, I got this from Diabolic DVD. Thank you, by the way, for re-putting this out because these are becoming more and more rare. But yeah, check it out. Believe it's on Shudder, by the way, too, so don't mark my words, though. Up next, we got the Apocalypse Tetralogy by let me try this for the second time, Peter Solkin's Apocalypse Tetralogy. Now, this is probably one of the nicest things I've seen Vinegar Syndrome put out, although that's debatable, obviously. But yeah, it comes with this hard case, so you can slip everything in. Here's the bag. But it comes with a booklet talking about a couple of the films in the movie, in the set, because there's 4. And it has an interview that's really awesome that they talk to him over Skype. And then, which is a really interesting read, by the way. And then, of course, you have the actual case for it. The inside, you get Gollum, War of the Worlds, Oba, and Gaga. These are all movies that were happening either before, I think Gollum was before the communist regime sort of took over, and he is a kind of director that was like not much of a filmmaker, but more of a person that kind of mixed a little bit of like science fiction, dystopian futures, aliens, and all kinds of stuff with like politics, because a lot of this is about censorship and mankind's ability to constantly seek power. Not necessarily horror, but it is something that I found to be very interesting. And if you like Blade Runner and like its dystopian world, this guy was kind of like, some people felt like he was kind of telling the future of like things to come, but really it was just his sort of look at mankind and how they're just destined to always fuck shit up. His grandparents passed away in the Holocaust. He had, of course, but then his parents also worked, I think he was like in some sort of form of medium. He might have been a painter or something like that, but so was he. And he decided to try going to film school to try to paint, essentially, on film. And they do a whole interview with him about this. But these 4 movies, Gollum, I think, is a remake of the actual Gollum movie from the 30s, but in his own version. But there's some really weird imagery and very dystopian stuff in this. Just know that there's a lot of talk about censorship, about the power dynamics of mankind, and how we inevitably fuck everything up. It is very dire, and I'm really glad I got it. So, German expressionism, French existentialism, H.G. Wells style like stuff, Frank Kafka. There's a ton of stuff that's jam-packed into this metaphorical, allegorical, censorship dystopia, futuristic, mind-boggling shit. So if that didn't sell you, I don't know what to tell you. But hopefully they'll put it up on streaming. Up next, something that's not as crazy as that, but pretty good. Evil Dead Rise. I got this on 4K. Now, I am a little disappointed in the release on this, and I've heard that the Steelbook case is also just as disappointing. Like, they didn't really go for it. But this is literally just the movie. French, Spanish, and English. It is in Dolby Atmos. It is in HDR, but it's pretty much just the movie. This has been kind of controversial because some people are calling it, I'm not even going to say the word. You know what I'm saying? No! No! Some are calling it that. I don't think so. I think it's just a very different Evil Dead movie that is existing in its own space that is within the dimensions of Evil Dead. If you watch the TV show, then you know that there's multiple dimensions that Evil Dead exists. And this is kind of like their own version in basically a high-rise apartment complex in the middle of the city. And a lot of people compare it to Demons. I think it's very different, but it is a lot of fun to me, and I like the gore in it. And I really like this version, and now I have all the 4Ks on it, so I had to pick this up. Evil Dead Rise. Are you a fan of it? Did you hate it? Everybody keeps going, 2013 was better. Like, they're all good. Up next, we got Invaluable, the true story of an epic artist. And that epic artist, speaking of Evil Dead, by the way, is Tom Sullivan, who is the guy that did the makeup and special effects and everything for the first movie. They were friends together, Sam Raimi, Rob Tappert, and Bruce Campbell, and everybody was like friends when they made this movie. And this is kind of like how invaluable Tom Sullivan was to the success of this franchise. And the trailer almost made me weep. That's how good it looks. This is a movie that's coming out on August 1st. Got this from MVD Entertainment. They sent this on out to me early to do a review of, about the Blu-ray and all the extras and everything. So this has not released yet, but you can pre-order it, and it did hit some of the festivals. If you're an Evil Dead fan, I can just tell you right now, just from watching the trailer, I'm going to do a review of this on the channel for myself, but if you are an Evil Dead fan and you do not pre-order this, I think you're going to be missing out, because this looks like something special. It's going to tug at your strings, man. But yeah, I haven't even opened it yet. We'll get into that when I do an unboxing and everything of it. But I just wanted to show you guys that it's coming out August 1st. Synapse Films, by the way. I'll put links down below where you can either pre-order it on Synapse, MVD Entertainment, or you can pick it up on Amazon. I'll put them all down below for you, okay?
Working on an Evil Dead film with Sam is a lot like being a character in one of his movies.
Up next, July 11th, we've got a 4K of Invaders from Mars. No, not the Tobe Hooper movie, the original. Super excited to see this. This is from Ignite Films. This is one of their very first 4K releases. I think they're kicking off, and this is a pretty big deal. I haven't seen it for many, many years, so I couldn't really tell you. But essentially, it's in the early 1950s, another Cold War thing like Peter's Svalkins. The war tensions and the burgeoning space race created a heady mix of paranoia and unbridled creativity as filmmakers speculated as to the marvels and horrors that lay beyond the stars. Among those leading the charge, William Cameron Menzies' Invaders from Mars terrified audiences upon its release in 1953 and its chilling vision of insidious alien attack on a small American town. Just in time for the apocalypse here in America. Anyway, so this is a new one coming out, and it's coming out on the July 11th, yes. And if you want to pick it up, there's a lot of extras in there. I'm going to go over this in my review, but just wanted to get you an idea of this is coming out. I mean, the movie's only like 72 minutes long, but it looks beautiful. I don't want to get into too much of it now, but just be on the lookout. And if you haven't pre-ordered it already, I'll put some links down below.
Father turned against son.
Up next, we got What the Waters Left Behind, Scars. Now, this is a sequel. I have not actually seen the original movie. We're going to be doing two movies for this one. I'm going to watch the original, which I believe is on Amazon, so if you want to check that out. And this one is the sequel to that, almost like a standalone version of itself, but it is a sequel of a similar thing going on. I'll read you the back. It says, "Rock will tear us apart. An Anglo-American indie rock band that ends up stranded in a desolate city of Uputian. Their internal conflicts and the bad luck of their tour quickly fade when they begin to discover the bloody hell that awaits them." Now, I haven't seen this either, but it is also coming out on July 11th, so if you are a fan of the original, be on the lookout. Up next, we got The Sound of Summer, which I just did a review of, and you can find it on the channel. I won't go into great detail about this, but this is a Japanese body horror movie. Now, it is done on the cheap. It is done on a very low budget, but there are some wonderful looking scenes in here. They did a great job. Even have some of the practical effects from the movie Versus, the guy that did that, in here, and music by Microchip Terror. So if you want to check out that review, it's on the channel. This already came out just this last month on the 13th, I believe. Or, yeah, just this past month. And last but not least, Magic Cop. Yeah, Hong Kong film. These are some of my favorite movies. Hong Kong is amazing. Plethora of just wonderful, weird, bizarre, just amalgamations of so many different types of like genres, so many different nods and sort of homages or just plain ripoffs of other movies that they shove into one amazing movie. I have never seen this, so I can't tell you anything about it, but I did watch the trailer. This is sort of along the lines of the Weird as Fuck Wonders that we do on the podcast, where we did like the movie The Cat from Nang Chai Lam, who did Ricky O, but this is actually by Stephen Tung, who directed this. Quite a few people in it that you might seen, like Lam Ching Ying, who is the main guy in this, but this is some wild shit. It's on 88 Films, by the way. They've been putting out a lot of Hong Kong movies, whether they are action, horror, or whatever. Not all of the 88 films are being put to this region of the United States, so just be on the lookout and check to see if it fits your region, because you might need a region player for some of these. This one you do not. This is actually in the region. It is coming out July 25th, so you can pick up a copy. I'm just going to show you here. This is the case. I just cut open the bottom here. I've been doing that lately. You get your poster, reversible cover, and the movie in here. I'll get into more detail what's in that poster so you can kind of see for yourself. If you're a Hong Kong fan and you haven't pre-ordered this and you like weird movies, you might want to keep an eye out. I'll post links and everything down below for this one as well. All of these last few movies have been sent to me by MVD Entertainment. They do distribution for a lot of these boutiques, and we thank them very kindly for sending these over to us to review. So you guys know all the deets of all the good stuff coming out from all these wonderful boutiques. But that's it, guys. That's everything. I would love to hear what you think about some of these movies. Are you a fan? Do you like weird stuff like me? Been on this channel long enough, you know that I like that kind of stuff. And some of these movies I think are very different and unique that you might want to pick up for yourself. Let me know what you got, or what you'd be interested to see, or what you were looking forward to of me reviewing next. If you haven't checked out the podcast, please do. We also started a new account on Threads, which is the Instagram, Facebook meta thing. But you can find us at BTVcast on, or Beyond the Void Horror Podcast on Threads, as well as our TikTok, which is at BTVcast. So if you are interested in seeing some weird videos and stuff, I've been doing a lot on there. But thanks for coming by, guys. We love you so much for fucking supporting this channel. Yeah, we'll see you next time. But as always, long live the void.